There's a very intriguing question. Is the United States truly a paper tiger? Paper tiger, is the famous, comments by Chairman Mao, right? In terms of overall national strength, America's real power is beyond doubt. Its economy and technological advancements are unparalleled globally. And its 587 overseas military bases showcase a level of military hegemony unmatched by any other nation. In this respect, the United States is undoubtedly a real tiger. But why did the wise older long ago conclude that America is merely a paper tiger, one that bullies the weak but fears the strong? It's because while the machinery of the American state is independent, indeed powerful, the government that operates it and the capitalist class behind that the government always seem to fall short in certain crucial ways. The other side is the missiles of the China. The United States capital circle is the most privileged in the world. The standard of living in the US is far superior to that of developing countries. However, both capital and people's livelihood are often most affected by war, making the US the country most afraid of going to war. Of course, this specifically refers to war between major powers, not bullying smaller nations, in which the US always very proactive. In fact, the US has had opportunities to take action against China in the past, and it still could today. The shift in the military balance between China and the US is merely an objective factor. The U.S. remains the most powerful nation in the region. They do not dare to take action against China. Now is that America's mindset has changed. They fear losing something. So that's the afterwards we have the comparison about the military force between the U.S. and China. In the past, refraining from action stemmed from American star arrogance. They say when the cannons roar, gold flows in by the tons, reflects the militaristic pursuit of wealth through waging wars, which is merely a rudimentary goal during the early stage of militarism. Established power have long disdained such behavior. Nations like the Third Reich of Germany or militarist Japan initially waged war because they were accustomed to poverty or faced severe resource shortages. Surrounded by the countries far larger in scale, their competitive capabilities were limited. Without proactively starting war, they simply had no means to obtain wealth or resource. But the United States is different. The US has enriched Marxist theory. It is not only a military imperialism power, but also a financial imperialist, biological imperialist, and a hacker imperialist power. The methods the US used to make money are dazzling and complex, and it doesn't even need to provoke a symmetric war except for the so-called anti-terrorism efforts to suppress the euro. The dissolution of the Soviet Union allowed the US to dominate. The reason the US hasn't taken action against China, at his point, is because of its arrogance. believing that it can suppress China just as it has suppressed Russia at any time. However, this arrogance is not unfounded. One only needs to look at Russia's situation to understand this. But where the US is wrong is being too arrogant, going off to wage the war on terror and leaving China with a perfect window of opportunity for development. When the United States realized that something was wrong and decided to take action against China, the gap in conventional military force between China and the US had already been rapidly narrowed. China launched 3 aircraft carriers in 10 years, and in some areas it even surpassed the US. China's economy is second only to that of the US, and its internal market is also very stable. Its industrial structure is clearly more suitable for prolonged consumption wars compared to the US, which has made the US wary of provoking China easily. However, the reasons why the US refrains from taking action go beyond these factors. They are also concerned and fearful of certain issues, which provide a more objective description of the current situation between China and the US. See the comparison of the two countries in the picture, and also the Chinese language is some description of those weapons. And in order to guide against other countries, the number of missiles in our country, in China, has never been made public. However, according to media speculation, China's missile count only 1/10 of that of the United States. Even so, the U.S. doesn't dare to take action against in China casually because they are unsure whether we possess more powerful military weapons. Today, China has no longer the small country it once was. It is now the second largest military power. While the U.S. is strong, China is no slouch either. Therefore, if a war were to break out, the US may not necessarily be able to defeat China, which is why they do not dare to start a war recklessly. What do you think about this?